and welcome to Tri Spark. This is Bharadwaj and we are here in the Mahindra's Chennai testing facility to test drive the XUV400 EV. And today we are going to tell you everything you need to know about Mahindra's first electric SUV. Let's get started. Now, before I explain the design aspect and all the features that are there on this car and also how is it to drive, let me tell you a little bit details about this SUV. Now, Mahindra is going to branch out into two divisions, that's the eXUV platform and the BE platform. So eXUV platform is nothing but XUV or ICE vehicles converted into electric, and BE is the Bonnet electric platforms that is going to start somewhere in 2024. Now this is part of the eXUV platform and it's the first vehicle under that platform. Now it is heavily based on the XUV300 and also the eXUV300 that was showcased at the Auto Expo 2020, and also this car is right now in its pre-production form and it will be available for test drives in showroom by the end of this year in December 2022, and it will be launched and the prices will be announced starting in January 2023. Now that is all about a brief of how a XUV400 EV came into existence. Now let me speak about the design aspect of this electric car. Now starting with the front fascia, you get to see a heavily influenced eXUV300 right here, but there are certain changes that have been done over to the Auto Expo model what you saw in 2020. Now starting off with the front, you get a closed grille right here and you get a bronze color twin peak logo and you get bronze elements on the grille right here. There are a lot of bronze elements inside and out. I'll tell you everything during the course of this video, but here is the most prominent bronze element right here, and when you go further down you get a closed bumper also right here. Now this aids to the aerodynamic efficiency of the car. Certainly you will not have any radiator, so you would not need any open grille here, but a closed grille will aid to better aerodynamic efficiency and it will easily cut through the air, especially at high speeds. Now lower down the bumper you still get to see certain vertical slats, and also you get to see contrasting skid plates right there. Now these are just for skid plates and they're for the design element itself. Now if you see further down on the side of the bumper, you get to see bronze elements right here, and in the XUV300 you get to see this as a DRL as well, but here you get to see a bronze element. Now I don't know if the production model will have a fog lamp housing right here, but this seems to be a fog lamp housing or a cornering lamp housing. We will have to wait and watch if that will be provided in the production model. Now coming to the lighting, you get a LED lighting setup right here, a projector setup for the low beam and a reflector setup for the high beam. You get a DRLs right here that you can see and which merges with the bronze lining on the bumper. Now that is all about the lighting. Now going to the bonnet or the hood line, you can see sharp muscular lines that are present on the bonnet. It certainly looks very sporty and adds to the sportiness of this SUV. I certainly like this, and it also looks very butch and gives it a road presence. Now that is all about the front fascia. Now let us go to the side and let me point out certain elements that are there on the side profile of this car. Now starting with the hubcap twin peak logo that you see right there, that is also finished in bronze, and also you can see the contrasting roof. Now this is a dual tone paint scheme. You get 5 colors, all of which are offered with the dual tone paint scheme right there with the copper roof line that you can choose, and also it gets 16-inch dual tone alloy wheels, stylish alloy wheels, and it is identical to the XUV300, and it comes with Bridgestone Turanza tires with a 205/65 profile. This tire certainly screeches a lot when we are driving. I will tell you about that later in the video. Now that is on the alloy wheel front, and also on this side is where you can spot the charging socket on towards the left side. Here you have support for DC and AC fast charging. I will tell you the times of the charging in the while I'm driving the car, but it supports DC 50 kilowatt DC fast charging as well, and you have a charging door right here on the wheel arch of the front fender. And when you move to the side profile, you can overall see that the silhouette of the car still remains the same as the XUV300. However, it has gained length because the XUV is under 4 meters, but this car is above 4 meter, measuring at around 4,200 millimeters. Now that is because the legislative norms or the norms that is there for compact SUV will not hold for electric vehicles. That tax benefit is only there for ICE vehicles. So Mahindra used that freedom to give it a right proportions, and you can see that the wheelbase of this car still remains the same as the XUV at 2600 mm, but overall it has grown in length and it gives it a better proportions is what I feel. What do you think of the side profile of the XUV400? Mention them in the comments below. Now the rear profile also looks more or less similar to the XUV300. You get a very good combination clear lens, tail lamps, LED tail lamps. You get all the Y markings right here, and it certainly looks good. And also again, there are a lot of bronze elements right here, including the logo, the badging, and probably even the variant badging, which will come at a later time on the production model, will also be finished in bronze. However, continuing the rear profile, you get a integrated roof spoiler. Again, this is also finished in that contrasting copper. You get a third stop light right here, and you also get a blacked out bumper, a dual tone bumper, where the bottom of the bumper is finished in silver and the top of the bumper is finished in body color, that's the gloss black. So this is about the rear profile, and moving forward, let me also show you the boot. Before that, this is where the rear camera is placed. Right next to it is the sensor, or the request sensor, to open the boot. Now you just have to unlock it, or also you can use the button on the key fob to unlock the boot. But if you press on this, when it's unlocked, you can just lift up the tailgate and you get access to 418 liters of boot space. Now that is also best in segment, but however, there is a small hitch, that is the loading lip. Yes, the boot is till here and it is very deep, but you will have to lift up and load the luggages in the boot to utilize the space. Loading lip could have been a little lower. Even taking out stuff from the boot and out is also gonna be a small task. Also, if you want to increase the boot, you get 60-40 split rear seat. You can increase the boot with lesser passengers on board. Now that is about the boot space right there, and boot lid is also not so heavy and it can be closed very easily. Now before we go on to see how the interiors of the XUV400 is, let me also show you what's on the front and under the hood, because always electric vehicles is an interesting topic when it comes to the bonnet. So we have now come to the bonnet, or what's under the hood of the XUV400 EV. As you can see, there is not any storage space right here. There's no frunk or the front trunk right here. You get to see a lot of mechanicals that are present to maneuver this car. Let's say even a controller or a motor or a high tension wire right here. There is not much space, and there is no sound deadening material, as well as the moving part is very less here, so they have not used any sound deadening material here as well. But this is what is under the hood of the XUV400 EV. Now it is finally time to get inside and see how the interiors of the XUV400 EV is. It's an interesting take. Let's get inside. So now we are sitting inside the XUV400, and let me start with the key fob. So what you see here, this is a key fob that is found on many of the Mahindra vehicles. You get the twin peak logo right here, and there's a flip up key if you want to use it in any instance. But I would have liked to see a different key fob catering to the EV vehicles. Now that is something Mahindra can certainly work on, but it feels chunky and it feels very premium to hold this key fob. Now key fob aside, let me start with how the interior looks. It is a all black interior and it has the similar layout of the XUV300. However, there have been certain changes catering to the EV market. On the XUV300, you get a very light colored interiors. Now this is an all black interior with a piano black finish on the center console, and it certainly looks apart and looks very sporty. Now again, a bronze treatment that is there on the exterior of the car is also continued in the interiors. You get to see bronze treatment on the gear lever, you get to see bronze treatment on the fan dial knob, and also you get to see a bronze highlight on the twin peak logo, and you get to see bronze highlight around the AC vents as well. There is a little attention to detail of giving the bronze detailing on the volume controller that is present for the infotainment system. Now all this will certainly make it look very premium and also very stylish. However, the dashboard features a hard plastic all over. I would have loved to see some soft touch plastic material right here, but the quality of the plastic looks very good and feels sturdy. Now again, as I mentioned, this is a pre-production model. We'll have to see how the production model would look, and also what are the changes in that. And on the center console, it looks very premium because of this gloss black finish, but however, it is a fingerprint magnet. As you can see, there are all fingerprints all around. This car has been reviewed by many other people who have shot this car, so you can see a lot of fingerprints right here. Now that is something could have been done better. And also the buttons to change the temperature or the trip meter or for the instrument console is like a chopstick. You have to like really concentrate and press on it. Now this could have been done better as well with chunkier buttons to use it easily, but you also get hard buttons for the infotainment system. Now speaking of the infotainment system, now this is a 7-inch unit that features Mahindra's Adrenox technology. For now this is still in development stage. It gets the 60 plus connected features that is in beta testing as well. Now that sadly cannot test it now, but certainly Mahindra says it will be ready by the time the car is getting launched. And also coming further down the center console, you get to see hard buttons for all the climate control here. These are the temperature buttons right here, all hard buttons and very easy to access. And coming further down, you get a USB port and an aux port, interestingly, and you also get a small cubby hole. And this might be for the charging pad. Probably it would have been given as an option in the production unit. Probably this is the right place for the charging pad. However, the phones is slightly doubtful to fit in, and certainly my phone couldn't fit in here when I placed it. And also here is a 12-volt socket that you can use. And coming further back on the center console, again you can see a piano black inserts around the gear lever. Now this gear is only a selector. Obviously you won't have any gears in the electric vehicle, and this is also the same. However, you can switch between the reverse, drive and neutral, and also it can take the L mode, that's the live mode. Now what is live mode, I will tell you when I am driving this car. And further back you have cup holders and also a small cubby hole. Speaking of storage spaces, you have a lot of storage space right here. You get a storage space right here. Now that's a cool box, and you get two 1-liter bottle holders on the door pocket, and there is certainly no shortage of storage spaces in this car. And finally, to top it off, you get a single pane electric sunroof. However, the blinds has to be operated manually. Now coming back to the driver cockpit right here, let me start with the steering. You get a fairly simple 3-spoke steering wheel, very chunky to hold, and you get contrasting stitching right here with the blue contrast stitching. Certainly looks very good. You get that contrasting stitching on the seats as well, and seats are perforated. Very good seats, very well bolstered, and it will keep you in place. Also with the steering wheel, it is not adjustable for telescopic, but it is a tiltable steering wheel, and you get a height adjustment on the seat as well, so you can fairly find your driving position fairly easily on this car. Now speaking about the instrument cluster, it's a semi-digital unit. The left side of the cluster will show you how much charge it is using or how much power is it using from the battery or the motor, and on the right side is your speedometer. It will indicate the speed. You also have a digital indication of the speed right on the center in the MID unit, and the MID unit I feel is still under development. There is no indication of battery charge yet. That will be given, as I mentioned. There is a pre-production model, and on the production model at least you will have all the indications. There's no battery indication as of yet, but there is odometer and what gear you are in, and also what drive mode you are in. In speaking of which, on the drive modes, the color of the instrument cluster also changes. On the fun, it becomes a light blue. On the fast, it becomes a dark blue, and fearless, it all goes red, and it will tell you it is ready to zip and zoom and zap. It is ready to zip and zoom. So these are the interiors and features of the front of the XUV400. Now it is time to go back, and there are a couple of misses. Let me tell you what. Now sitting at the back of the XUV400 EV, you can certainly feel the amount of space that is present here. I have ample space, and the floorboard is also fairly flat. The third person can sit very easily with comfort, and also I have ample knee room, ample leg room. I can tuck my feet under the seat, and also I've got very good headroom right here. A taller person than me, I'm like 5'10", and a taller person than me, certainly this dip what you see right here, because of the sunroof, this dip might cause a trouble for a taller person who's taller than me, at least like 6 feet. Probably their head will be a lot closer to the roof on this car. Now you also get a center armrest right here with cup holders. Now this armrest could have been extended a little more. I feel this is a little short out. They could have done it a little more, but however, I think the backrest of the seat is a little small. That is the reason they could not extend the armrest. And you get 3 adjustable headrests, and also the under thigh support for the seat is also very good. Now the contrasting stitching, what you see, the blue stitching, that is also present on the rear seat, and again it is a perforated seat. Right here you get art leather, and certainly feels very premium and very good, and the cushioning of the seat is also very good. You get almost a fairly wide viewing angle up front, and also you can see clearly the sunroof as well. So in terms of space and area, it is very good, but there are a couple of misses. One is that I do not appreciate this wired pocket right here. They could have given a proper pocket, so that I can hold a couple of things also while charging. And also there are no USB socket, there's no rear AC vent. I don't know if it's going to be available on the production model. I certainly hope so, but in this pre-production model at least, there is no USB charging or there's no rear AC vent. I will certainly hope Mahindra to give AC vent. I wouldn't mind if it's only a blower control and not any temperature control, but a rear AC vent is needed to chill this cabin, especially in this heat, in Chennai heat that we are shooting. Now that is all about the interiors of the XUV400. Now it is time to take this car out for a spin on this testing facility and tell you everything you need to know about this car as to how it drives. Let's go. So we are driving the all-new XUV400 electric at the Mahindra's testing facility, and we have driven it over the different courses or sections present here, including the high-speed test track, a handling course, and also a straight line speed course where you test the acceleration of the car. Now speaking of which, let's start with the performance. Now this car comes with a 150 HP motor on the front wheels, power going to the front wheels, and a 310 Newton meters of torque, which is best in segment. And also it poses a 0 to 100 time of 8.3 seconds, which we tested on the straight line speed test track, and it came out very well. Now this car also features 3 drive modes, that's the fun, fast and fearless. In the fun, it is almost like a eco mode where the power is restricted and you stay more or less below 90 kmph. It won't let you go above. But when you switch to fast mode, it will certainly use 90% of the battery's power to give you that burst of acceleration. Also in fun mode, you will have a lot of regen braking, but in fast mode the regen braking is a little less. And on the fearless mode, that's the top spec mode of the sportiest mode of the 3, will have regen braking very less and acceleration more, because it will use 100% of the power from this motor to give you that burst of acceleration. And in that mode, I saw the speedo climbing up to around 150 km/h on the straight line speed test track. Now in terms of performance, it is not lacking. It will certainly give you that, and instantaneously you will feel the power being delivered to the front wheels, and it will spin its wheel and also go, because these run with very low rolling resistance tires. In that sense, you will get that sense of speed and sense of fun on this car. This being an EV, you will feel that instant torque kicking in as well. Now moving on to the suspension, when we tested this car in the handling facility, we could notice that this car is sporting a very stiffer suspension, slightly stiffer suspension, and also the battery bank which is between the chassis is also aiding to low center of gravity, which aids to a better handling as well. In that sense, I would say this car handles very good, and the steering setup is actually very good. It weighs up very well in triple-digit speeds, and it will inspire confidence in you to take aggressive corners in this car. And speaking about the body roll, the car is certainly, with the low center of gravity, it does not have much body roll. It is very controlled, and the chassis is doing a very good job at it, and you can notice it certainly. And we noticed it when we took this car around the test track and during the handling course, and we chucked it around the corner at speeds of over triple-digit speeds, and the car came out very well, only because of the tires, which has very low grip. It used to screech, otherwise it handled flawlessly, and this well-bolstered seat supported that handling course, and it supported the way we are driving, and it handled very well at the corners, and I did not feel any uncomfortable, and it was certainly confidence inspiring for me to push it around the corners. In terms of braking, definitely it has one of the good brakes. The regen brakes work very well, and you have couple of modes in that. Again, you have a L mode, that's the live mode, that's a single foot pedal driving. As of now, it is under development is what Mahindra says, but that will certainly help you in city driving, where you can just do single foot driving and let the regen braking take care of decelerating the car, which is very good for an EV. So that is about the braking and the performance and the handling. And finally, speaking about the NVH levels, this car certainly has a very good NVH level. For an EV, they have nicely isolated the cabin and make sure that all the noise, vibration and harshness are isolated. So along with the drive modes, the fun, fast and the fearless, not only the throttle response changes, but the weight of the steering wheel also changes. Fun, it is very light, and it is very eco-ish. It is very light, and it can be used in in city traffic or even for city runabout. But Fearless, the steering weighs up properly to give you that sporty feeling, and in that sense you will get the best of both worlds, either if you want to go for the city or if you want to go have a sporty drive. You can certainly change between modes, and the throttle response and the steering response both changes to give you that sporty drive. So overall, to tell about this car, as you can see, I am doing the high-speed thingy over there with a bank circuit on my right. This car is very well balanced, and it certainly gives you a sportiness in terms of driving, and Mahindra has worked their magic with the suspension, and I can certainly say that it is a driver's car apart from being an EV. So that's my take on the XUV400 on this short drive at the Mahindra testing facility. So that was our take on the Mahindra XUV400 EV. Now, as I mentioned, we had a very short and limited time to test this car out, and also this is in its pre-production form. We will have to wait it out and see how the production version turns out, and I certainly hope it is going to be very close as this. But so far I'm mighty impressed with how this car drives, and also the interiors of it and overall combinations of it. Kudos to Mahindra for it, and the most surprising factor or the most deciding factor for this car will be the pricing, because right now this market is currently ruled by Tata Nexon EV and the EV Max versions. Now, from what I've seen, that car will have a tough time after this XUV400 is introduced in the Indian market. What did you think about this car? Mention them in the comments below. Also, like and share this video, and do subscribe to Drive Spark if you haven't done it already. This is Bharadwaj signing off. Stay safe and drive safe.